Pomeroy tonight. And Patrick, tonight it was all on the line.
Yeah, it was, Justin. But, behind all of that hype, this was actually a pretty tall test for the Meigs Marauders. Over the last 3 weeks, they've been giving up 44 points per contest. But Coach Bartram said that this is a new week and that his team would be ready. But they would have the privilege of taking on that man right there, Mason Chapman. He has been bonkers over the last couple of weeks. But, Meigs would get going first with a touchdown, 16-play touchdown drive, actually. But Chapman, he swings it out to A.J. Marks on their first drive, and he's off to the races for the 61-yard touchdown. 7-6, Alexander leads early, and that play really got Marks fired up because he's making plays on the defensive end. Cody Bartram rolling out, throws it up for grabs, and who is it? It's Marks coming down with that ball, trying to get some momentum going for the Spartans. Now let's fast forward to the second quarter. Cody Bartram, he is going to find his man Caleb Sheets over the middle on this one, going deep into Spartans territory, and on the next play, that set up Lane Collins. He's going to reach pay dirt, jumping into the end zone, giving Meigs the lead 14-7. Could they pull off this upset? Not a lot of people saw it coming, but Mason Chapman, he's got your answer. He's going in for the 23-yard score. He finished with 135 yards on the ground and 5 total touchdowns. Deadlocked at 14 at the half, but it's Chapman again right at the end of the start of the third quarter with another 20-yard score. And Alexander, they would pull away and get this win 35-26.
So there are a lot of big hits and fourth quarter stops in that first half. Alexander kept Cody Bartram and Caleb Sheets under wraps, and the Marauders, they did a decent job with Mason Chapman. For the longest time, I wasn't sure who was going to come home with this win. But despite the loss, Meigs was out there playing with nothing to lose, Patrick.
Well, that's right. Mike Bartram, he really called a lot of aggressive play calls in this one. Meigs, they rolled the dice a lot on fourth down and some two-point conversions, and they even called 3 onside kicks. Some of them worked, some of them didn't, but eventually it was just the Spartans. They were just too much for them, and they come out with the outright championship.
Well, with that ninth win, Alexander ties a school record. It's been a huge turnaround from 2 years ago, ever since Penrod took over.
Well, that's right. I talked to him earlier this week, and he told me that winning a conference championship was a 6-step process. All the way back for that first conference game all the way to the end. They had to win each game if they were going to come out on top. And tonight, they finished the job, and they are the outright champions. They're going to be hosting a playoff game next week in Week 11 in Albany. That's going to be one you're not going to want to miss.
So Alexander gets the win. But Patrick, this game was close for a really long time.
Yeah, it really was. For a long time, both teams really just fighting back and forth to get that momentum. But like I said, Mason Chapman, he just took over in around that second quarter. Like you said earlier, Meigs did a pretty solid job of keeping him under wraps in the first half. Only 58 rushing yards in the first half. That's pretty good for the defense that had been giving up 44 points per game. But in the second half, my goodness, the guy just went off. You couldn't tackle him. You couldn't bring him down. He had gaping holes from that offensive lineman. Those senior offensive linemen did a great job today, and that really helped them get this win, Justin.
So it was another great job by him and his offensive line. And I'm going to put you on the spot here. How far do you see Alexander making it in the playoffs, Pat?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I think they really needed a game like this, a close game like this, to really set them up for the playoffs. But I think they're going to be really competitive going forward, with Chapman, that offense, and that defense who's just been they've played fantastic all season long. They're going to be a tough one to beat.
Now, you talked to Coach Penrod a lot this season. What has he done for this team to make them 9-1?
That's a tough question to ask. It's just about the passion this guy brings to the table. All week, if you guys just follow this guy on Facebook, he is just a hoot, man. He is always pumping his guys up. Before in the locker room and during the games, he's just yelling. This guy loses his voice every week, it seems. But he's done a great job turning this program around in such a short time. He's just been very impressive, and I'm excited to see where this team can go.
Well, it's definitely working, and they won the TVC-Ohio tonight. Patrick, thanks for the great work. And I know